Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bomber Banter. Welcome to Fiona's forecast. Round 20, we face the Bulldogs again. I'm not quite sure I'm mentally prepared for the carnage that is going to ensue on Friday night. But to help me work through it, Solution, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Fiona. How are you?
I'm a little flat, not going to lie.
Football related?
I don't know. I think so. I've really struggled to get myself up and about the last few days to do content. And I think now I'm in this football content world. I think Terry did warn me, but the roller coaster, the mood roller coaster, it really does follow how the team's going. And I just thinking to myself, if we could pull off a win when we're not expected, like if you think about it, if we pulled off a win against GWS at Marvel on Thursday night, that would have the dopamine and the energy and the feeling that would have just spread throughout the Essendon community, including the players and coaches. I know we're on Team Tank, but that feeling would have just been priceless. It's just the feeling that it would have felt, rather than finding clips of good moments. You're finding, that elation in the players and that elation that we all feel. And so I'm probably just going on the roller coaster, to be quite honest.
Well, I think there was about 30,000 people that felt flat as well because they didn't turn up.
There was more than 30,000. Yeah.
30,
I
40.
was there. Yeah. It was, you could choose your seat, basically. I think Marvel should have just made hot chips half price to get people there or something, and then they really didn't need to hire staff standing at the end of each aisle because, I mean, you could, as I said, you could just sit anywhere. It was very, very empty. Very disappointing to see that supporters jumping off just because we're doing bad. I know it was a Thursday night, but it was school holidays, and maybe I'm being harsh, but I think particularly the young kids, deserve the support, and there wasn't much there.
I know it was school holidays, but still a lot of people need to work the next day. And you're one of the very few people that seems to have an escape route. I know you've got your bat pole that you slide down and into the Batmobile, and then you're home in time to do the fan cams within a short space of time. But for most people, it is a bitch to get out of that place.
But we knew we were going to lose, so if you had to leave halfway through the last quarter, no probs. You could have, or at 3/4 time, that's still 3/4 that you're there to show, that you're a supporter, and mainly that we're not Hawthorn, that we're not Richmond, and we're not Fairweather supporters. Like, that's the part I hated. Like, it's not the 22 who ran out. It's not their fault that we're well, it is some their fault, but there are bigger picture reasons why we're going so badly at the moment, and it's not necessarily those fault, and especially not the kids' fault. But anyway.
Yeah, I think we've got some credits in the bank. I mean, we turn every single week for the top-ups, as painful as that was. But I think what, like that unexpected win, it's not going to happen if we're missing shots for goal.
Before we get into the game, Solution, because I had a few people, shout out to the people who came up and said hello and who have been coming up to me. It's a little unnerving, but it's wonderful, who have been now coming up to me at multiple games and saying that they love Bomber Banter and appreciate the community. So I am just grateful for you, and please keep approaching me, keep coming up. I'm so glad to have you all on this journey, and it's a privilege and an honour. So thank you. But also, I had a few people writing the cream ganache story and need an update on that story from last week. So if you missed it, basically I bought 4 jars of cream at the supermarket, but by the time I got home, I only had 1 jar of cream to make ganache, which is just like a chocolate cream turned hard so you can put on the cake. And I've dropped 3 bottles essentially, and only got 1 bottle left. And I said I was going to make it my mission to make that 1 bottle of cream batch of ganache stretch me and get me through the week. And you better believe I did. I think I had about a teaspoon, if that, left over. So I made every single little bit of that cream count.
There you go, Ganesh Watch, the new
Yeah,
segment.
exactly. I mean, I still lost $30, but down the drain, literally, because 2 fell out onto the pavement. But I didn't have to go back to the supermarket basically that week. Anyway,
So
that was just
people were coming up to you and asking, "How's the ganache?" That's how shit we're going. Yeah.
well, thanks,
Didn't want to.
but no,
Didn't
yeah,
want to. Didn't want to talk footy.
we're looking for any little bit of
Yep.
entertainment because the football is not providing that much entertainment. And shit, if you were there, had you been sitting next to me on Thursday night, the crowd would get up and about, and then because it was in the forward 50 or it was staying in the forward 50 or rebounding back into our forward 50. And then the flatness, the absolute popping of the balloon that would happen when we were missing these gettable goals. It was the most disappointing thing more than anything
And
from the night.
that's us on this side of the fence. Imagine what it does to all the players on the other side of the
Oh,
fence who've put in that work,
yeah,
who want some reward. I mean, you talk about the dopamine hit. How about just a little mini dopamine kick a goal? It gives you confidence. We obviously started well,
yeah.
but yeah, I hope they did goal kicking practice this week. But on the bright side, like no injuries.
I mean,
The week is
yeah,
still young. The week is
the
still
week
young.
is
That's good.
Yeah, no injuries except a broken nose. And that is, I mean, these days, broken noses just put that shit back into place and
Yeah.
you're right the next week. But knowing us, it was a broken nose, but he probably dismantled like his face or something, knowing our luck. And he probably
He's
can't
probably
play
got
for the rest of the year.
Yeah, he'll have cranial awareness now, and
Yeah.
he'll be out for an indefinite a TBC.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Knowing our luck. But fortunately, we actually have we have 1 bit of depth left in the VFL. I mean, well, left on the sidelines for his spot, so it's not too much of a disaster. But yeah, no injuries. But I tell you what, yeah, the you're right. The confidence and the goal kicking, because the goal kicking issue is coming from A, easy spots, and B, from seasoned good goal scorers and good goal kickers, that
Yeah.
just tells you that's confidence. And that's an all-round confidence and an all-round, all-time zero. That's a how good are you feeling in yourself type of reflection. And I think we got the answer to that. They were just mirroring in that goal kicking, they were mirroring how they feel inside. And that is utter shit.
It's definitely mental, and you see it, and it doesn't matter the level. You see it
Yeah.
at cricket.
Okay.
Somebody drops a catch, and then the next person drops a catch, and suddenly people start to think, "Oh no, please don't hit the ball to me." And then
Yes.
someone else drops a catch, and yeah, they need to exercise that demon, but do it after the season once we've banked the draft picks.
Bloody hell. All right. I know I need to keep up with your team tank, but I tell you what, for the sake of bomber banter and my energy bringing that I can bring to this channel and to all of you, oh, a random surprising win would be good for the
I get it.
soul. You
I
know?
get it.
Just be
But
soul food.
it would be. It would be. But it's going to make it all the more sweeter next year when we start playing well.
Yeah. Yeah. And didn't we have as a collective Essendon just to push just to, hammer in the nail into our souls and hearts. One Patrick Voss kicked an absolute half a dozen against a very, the premiership potential contender and winner in the Pies. And that just gave Essendon supporters who were already feeling shit another reason to feel shitter and to bring up, why do we let him go and blah, blah, blah. And the irrationality of some of the takes that I have seen in the last 24 hours.
So I haven't seen it, but I'm guessing he didn't have 27 players in front of him like our forwards do, And I'm guessing he probably had some decent delivery as well.
He also didn't have two defenders coming up on him, and I know, and I'm going to stick up for my big ginger giant. And yes, you can call me biased, but he had 2 marks that he maybe should have taken in the first quarter. But if you watch those marks so closely, he has a defender hanging so closely to him that they're basically sharing the same skin. So I just think, and then in the second one, he had 2 hanging off him. And people are saying he should take these miraculous marks. Yeah, he would if it was a one-on-one chance. But Voss didn't have 2 or 3 hanging off him all night. And as I said in our group chat, he's not getting the delivery at Essendon. We could have played him for an entire season. He's not taking those marks and getting those shots at goal if he was at Essendon. Wayne Carey wouldn't be kicking goals at Essendon. Matthew Lloyd wouldn't be kicking those goals at Essendon. So eliminate Patrick Voss from your mind because you're comparing oranges with apples. It's not the player. He's doing well, but he's only doing well because he has elite midfielders and half forwards working so hard for him and working so hard to deliver the ball on a silver, gold-encrusted platter.
Hey, just a digression. Are we starting to see a little chink in the Collingwood armour?
I don't think so, personally.
Oh, really?
I think, yeah, unfortunately, I think this is the loss. It's cliche, but this is the loss they needed to have. They've been humming.
2 in a row. 2 in a row.
2 in a row?
Didn't they lose last week?
Did they? I thought they played Geelong last week.
Brisbane.
Double fact check that. Oh, all the rounds are starting to blend into each other now.
They are.
For me, because I'm so invested in it at the moment. Is that correct?
No, let's check.
Oh, geez. Okay, we're our during recording fact checking is delayed, but yeah, I personally don't.
We need to get Rusty back as our producer.
Yeah, I mean, just expanding on that, I don't think it's a chink in their chain. I think they've been up energetically for quite a while, and so there's going to be a dip.
I'm dealing right now.
How hard is it to check? I can do it in 3 seconds.
Here's a mini. Well, they lost to the Gold Coast by a goal last week. You remember when they didn't score a goal in the first half, and then
yes, that was that game. Yeah, I mean, arguably you could say it. Arguably you could say they're a little bit of a chink, and I'd love to, and maybe it's self-preservation, or I'm just trying to prepare myself that they're going to get their 17th flag. But
speaking of self-preservation, here's like a little mini couch question. I have a Collingwood supporter who's sort of in my orbit at the moment, who is extremely arrogant. And the first thing he says as soon as he sees me is starts bagging Essendon. Like, okay, whatever. Like, I know their shit. I don't need to be told. What's your advice on how to deal with a moron like that?
Well, why don't we actually make that the couch question? Why are you bringing it up now? Because I'm sure a lot of people are going through this at the moment.
The couch question is for the listeners and the
viewers. Yeah, but we do this at the end of the series. Are you new here?
Well, that's why I said I'm just like a mini couch question. I'm trying to avoid talking about the thumping we're about to experience.
Oh, yeah. Well, how about I tackle that? Because I look, I mean, my first reaction is get better friends. But also,
he's not a friend. I just need to.
I just remind people that I just say to people, yeah, tell me something I don't know. Like, no one bags them more than you do. So you just say, nobody knows they're shitter than I do. Just that's your response. If you meet them with passivity in terms of you don't bite back at their argument and defend Essendon, they lose all power.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, we've avoided it enough. Changes. Does Al Hooley come in? Any other changes that we can make? Is anyone coming back from injury?
No. Caddy will...
None of our 17 injuries coming back.
This is the problem. When you think you have a 17 listed injured players, you think, okay, but they'll be drip coming back in. Literally none of them who are injured. I mean, I know Caddy's listed as injured with a groin, but he's generally just sore. I think Caddy comes back in and maybe May just gives the broken nose a bit of a rest, because I'd hate for McMahon to get dropped after one game, and I don't think that's Brad Scott's style. He's kept Oscar Smart in for his second game, and I think maybe May gets a rest.
Anybody who kicks straight deserves to play.
Yep, good point. And he took a nice, beautiful mark, and so I would say Caddy for May, Goldstein for Vigo, and Al Hawley for Lual. 3 changes.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Vigo, no good.
The basic conjecture around him seems to be, see, everyone on social media now, I told you we shouldn't play Vigo. He got absolutely thumped and blah, blah, blah. And I get it, but it's not necessary. At this point in time, we're going to get thumped. This is the time that he can learn some stuff. And I'm not subscribed. I'm not saying you're playing for the rest of the year every game, but I don't think that did him harm, personally.
No, and also it doesn't take away what he did in his previous performance either.
That's right.
So, he's going to come up against challenges that are too difficult for him to overcome at this stage of his career. But he'll be learning along the way.
Yeah, and he takes from that game an extra 2 to 3 things that he didn't know before about playing in the seniors, and now maybe you give him a chance to go back and work on it. I don't think it's now he just sits in the VFL for the rest of the year. I don't like that. I don't think that's bringing him in for a little taste tester is going to do, given that we are Team Tank and, we need to be setting ourselves up for a really, good period out of it to get a good period of performance out of these kids ongoing. I don't think it's doing him harm. For example, like, I don't know, is him going up against De Koning v Carlton, is that going to teach him a lot? I personally think so. I still think of Caddy versus Silvani when we played Carlton in round 10 or 9 and how good that was for Caddy. He got absolutely murdered by Silvani. He got so shown up. You could almost say it was really embarrassing how badly he got shown up. But he came out the week after against, I think it was Brisbane we played, or did we No, I think we played Brisbane after. And he was so incredibly good because of the lessons he took out of getting absolutely hammered. He got shown up and embarrassed by Zawani. And so I just think that there are lessons that can be, and I think maybe 1 or 2 more goes for him will just keep him in good stead for his off-season and how he goes into next year.
I agree entirely. Now, moving to the Smoking Joe and the Sitting Joe. Now, I said Andy McGrath would be smoking. I thought he'd do well with a task.
Yes, you did. And he did do well. He had a good game.
So who did you have as a Sitting Joe? I can't recall.
I can't recall.
Wasn't
my
Dersma
excuses. Yeah, maybe Dersma. Yep, it was. Yep. He had a good first quarter, but he's fading away. But I can't blame him. I don't blame him at all. He's extremely sore and doing the best he fucking can. Yeah.
So that means you're doing this Smoking Joe.
Yes, I am giving it to Matthew Guelphy. He had a really good game against the Giants. His first half, his intent was so good, and you can just see
have you listened? Sorry to interrupt you. Have you listened to our podcast yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Why?
You may have featured in the Henneman conversation.
Oh, God, no. The Henneman was the easiest Henneman, well, one of the easiest Hennemans of the year. It was Lowell by the Flemington stretch, or whatever that saying is, horsey saying.
I think Guelphy was marked down because he missed shots for goal that he should have kicked for an experienced player.
Would it have been great if he kicked those 2 goals? Wonderful. He would have been in the herd chat. But his intent the first half, and you could see the experience in his game, getting to the right moments, getting to the right spots to force turnover, and our stoppage turnover game was really good, was really impressive, and clearly they worked on it, but he was the one who was getting in the way and just kind of interrupting that flow of the GWS mids, and when the ball was in our forward half, which it was a lot in the first half, his intent was great, but he also completely negated Lockie Whitfield, and Lockie Whitfield is a real weapon for GWS and has been in really, really good form. And he had, I think, 18, 17 disposals, Lockie Whitfield, but ineffectual. Nothing to say that, he completely got off the chain. So Guelphy had a really good game for me. He would have had a great game had he got those 2 goals. And I give him a bit of a tick because he's generally pretty accurate. So I give him a bit of a pass on the goals.
Okay.
Yeah. But the reason I'm bringing him in as my smoking Joe is because last week, the most important person at the club was the psychologist. This week, the most important person at the club is Matthew Guelphy. And that is because a Bailey Dale awaits him. And if you remember, Bailey Dale had 50 possessions last time we played them. He had 1,016 metres gained. 1,000
a kilometre.
And 16 metres gained. The next best on the ground during the Bulldogs game was 490. The league average is 660. And he had 1,016 metres gained. Guelphy wasn't playing in that match, but he will be playing on Friday night. So the reason he's my smoking Joe is because he has a very, very, very big job on Bailey Dale. Now, Bailey Dale's possessions, out of the 50, 37 were uncontested, which means he just ran around and did whatever the hell he wanted and got the easy possession and drove the flow and drove the transition out of the back line. But for most of the game was basically uninterrupted in his possession chains. So Guelphy is just going to have to do what he did on Lockie Whitfield, and probably you'd have Bailey Dale a bit higher in terms of quality, but if we can halve those possessions, if he can get 25, I'm happy.
What's the metres gained line? Is it 700 metres? Is it 500?
I would be happy. I would be happy if he could just sit at the league average, 660.
Okay.
What would you be happy with?
Yeah, probably that.
I'll tell you, his average, his league average is 557. So that's his average. On that night, he got 1,016. Do you know how far that is?
Oh, look, I remember his statistics, and I'm not a big stats guy anyway. His statistics were the only item of interest for the commentators in the last 10 minutes. Yes. To try and drum up some kind of interest for the game. And yeah, we'll get to our predictions later, but I think they might be scratching around for other stats at the end of this game.
And that's what makes me a little bit, because I remember watching him, and I remember watching him alone for most of the game because the Bulldogs were sending a spare back because they really didn't need it forward, and he was just doing what he wanted when he wanted. Nobody went near him, but I dare say that will be a very different story on Friday night. So Matthew Guelphy, do your hardest. I don't care if he kicks a goal. I could not give a shit. Just eradicate some of Bailey Dale's influence.
Okay. So for sitting Joe, I think it's going to be a hard game for our half-back line.
Oh, God.
In particular. So it's kind of like pick your man.
Yeah.
Maybe Pryor.
He had a good
Pryor
game.
might be, that's why I'm picking with him. He's actually, after a very inauspicious start, I was there for that Adelaide game, and he was woeful. Had a lot of mates that day, by the way. But I think he's been playing well. He's probably due for a little bit of a dip.
I think he's been solid without being great, but But on Thursday night, props to him, he got a Twix. Like, literally, he was. And you know why? You know what's standing out the most for me? Because in that Adelaide game you're referring to at the G, the thing that stood out most was he looked like a boy playing against men so badly, so spectacularly, that he was shirking not just a contest, but any kind of contact. You know, he was so timid.
Lost. He looked completely lost that day.
So timid, and he looks like a completely different player in that regard. I'm not talking about his disposal. I'm not talking about his ability to hit targets. I'm talking particularly where I really gave him a hard time was the passivity of his movement and his passivity in his body as a footballer, as a defender, and that has flipped around. And maybe it was harsh at the beginning because, no, I'm not harsh because it's not like he's the debutant. He'd played before at the Brisbane Lions, so he's warmed into his body at Essendon, and he's now definitely more comfortable. And he had one of the best moments of the night. He came off his man and intercepted I think it was he helped Laverty out. A mark was coming in to Laverty's opponent, and he came off his player and went back with the flight. And he took a really hard hit in the ribs, but got a really good mark. So loved it.
The other thing too is compared to that game, round 2, he looks like he's grown. Like you talk about, he was passive back then. It was almost like he was maybe like, maybe he's like a 15-year-old teenager, like a 15-year-old boy who's kind of a bit awkward and uncomfortable in his body that's changing. He sort of hunches over, he looks smaller, and then suddenly he's walking around.
Yeah.
Because he's lost his
body language,
virginity 2 years later, and he's happy with himself. That's body language, yeah. But he surprises me. Like, he can take a mark and contest against those sort of, third, fourth talls.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I just like how he's putting his body on the line, in recent weeks. So well done, Jackson. I must admit, I didn't think he had it in him because he was really at the opposite end of the scale, really badly, and he didn't quite look like a footballer, much less a defender. So I'm really proud of him. Well done.
No, well done, and now you're gonna be the sitting Joe.
Okay.
I really don't know who the Houdini is, because when you got 17 players injured,
the number is so ridiculous it makes me laugh.
Do you see that clip that like a couple of people do a wonderful job of putting photos and videos up? One's Charlie Dons, of course. Rick Edwards is the other. And that pic, a video Rick had of the rehab group running laps, and they're like 13 deep, and three or four behind those guys. It's just like, wow, it's like Charge of the Light Brigade. So many people injured. So anybody who is physically fit and can front up this week, you're in the team. So there's no Houdini this week.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah,
maybe a cop out, but
that's a complete cop out. But I'll allow it. I'll allow it this week.
Thank you.
And maybe for the rest of the season, because it's not going to get any better.
God. I was kind of mildly smiling to myself before. We've only got a month to go.
I don't know why you're smiling. I'm depressed.
Well, hang on. There's 24 rounds. Oh, and we've got the extra week as well.
We've got 5 games left, including this week, including this Friday night. And that makes me really sad. I don't know why you're so happy.
Do you know how much that last game is going to suck? There won't be another game on that weekend. The entire football world will be watching that game. And it'll be on Friday night, I assume.
Oh, yes. No, well, we still don't know the bloody fixtures. This bloody annoys the frigging shit out of me. I had to plan something, and the fixtures. I go to the dates because obviously I have this commitment now, and I can't even plan because the freaking AFL.
Right.
Like, get your shit together and put the dates out. My God. Anyway, but I believe we're going to have 2 in 1 week to get this game in order to get Gold Coast in order to allow Gold Coast to have that pre-finals week off, aren't we? Is that my understanding?
I assume it's going to be on like a Thursday because that could be worse for Gold Coast if they had to play. Like I can see Gold Coast playing Thursday and Thursday or Thursday and Wednesday or something. And arguably, it could even be an advantage to have slightly less than 2 weeks off.
But you know what? They'll rest players anyway. They'd be stupid not to. So
yeah, that's true.
Damn stupid not to.
But having said that, they may be a percentage away from getting a double chance or something like that. So
true. Yeah, true.
So but they may have an incentive to thrash us. So the whole football world's going to be watching. And we are going to get slaughtered. But anyway, let's move to a more immediate slaughter. What did they beat us by last time? They humiliated us, really. 80, 90 points, whatever the fuck it was.
Not 96. One was 91 and one was 96. Geelong and I don't know who did what, but it was Geelong and the Dogs.
Doesn't matter, really. I mean,
that's true.
Just 2 terrible results. So I'm expecting similar, and I assume you're not expecting anything different from this game.
No, not at all. I mean, the Dogs are the team that bully the inferior. They have such a good record against the teams below them.
Flat track bullies is what they are.
Yeah.
Flat track bullies.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well for their grand final aspirations, but. Yeah, they are. Bully is the word that they're going to do because they are on the precipice of the 8. And whilst the bottom 9, I think, are generally pretty set, I think the bottom 9 is set, right? Bottom 8 is set. The 8th, 9th, 10th spot, I reckon, or 8th and 9th at least, is still up for grabs. So they are going to want and need percentage boosters, and they will absolutely love doing it again at Marvel to us. There will be no mercy. There will be no mercy from Bulldogs, from Bevo, from in the team selection. No mercy at all. I think in fact, they are going again quite well with their injury list. Can you even call it an injury list? In fact, I'm here on out. A team's injury list can no longer be called an injury list if it doesn't have more than 5 players. If it doesn't have more than 10 players or 11 players on there,
we should just publish who's fit rather than who's not, or take less screen space.
It's very true.
I agree with you. I think we need to adopt from English football a chant, which will disarm the Bulldogs fans. I don't like them actually. They can be quite loud and arrogant.
Yeah.
For a very small group who's only won 1 flag since 1954. But the song is, we lose every week, we lose every week, you're not special, we lose every week.
Oh my gosh, that is good. That is very, very good. And for them, it's actually quite apt for them because, of course, they're going to bully us. We're below them. That's what they do.
So I call on all Essendon fans, let's get that chant happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, it's the same issue as last time. They're contested balls in the midfield, and this time they have Darcy as well. So just to add a little bit more pain to it, they have Darcy.
My man going to look all right again?
I think your man will do quite well on. They don't have a tall forward line. They just have incredibly good midfielders who contribute to the scoreline. Norton is their only real big boy down there. And then when Darcy rests, of course, and when English, ruck duties, when they alternate. But other than that, it's their midfield that just has such great contribution to their score. Clearances, they're the number 1 clearance team in the competition on average. number one goal assist team. So that just tells you how influential their mids are and how much work they do to actually help out their forwards.
Any argument that we played two ruckman?
Again, my attitude is this is the year to do it, to try shit. Give it a go. Who cares, really? Like, and then sub Goldstein or sub Vigo as we did, in the game. Mm-hmm. I just think, why not? At this point, I'm open to absolutely fucking anything, just because we may not get this opportunity again. We have an out. We have 17 in 100%. The recovery. We have an out, a very good out. So now but I'm going to play the devil's advocate to my own argument because is there a point? I'll put it to you. Is there a point trying it when the team is not going to look like it is round one next year? So is there a point even trying it? Because what's the point of getting cohesion with a group that isn't going to actually be the group that starts round one, ideally?
Look, I think whatever decisions we make, let's not worry about cohesion for that very reason. That it's not if we play Vigo, it's because we think Goldie needs a chop out. Got to remember, long season for him. There's no way he would have anticipated playing this many games.
Nah.
He's just turned 37.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you do it to give him a chop out and make us relatively competitive at the centre bounce, and then to give Vigo that little bit of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it can't, it can't hurt to give Vigo a look in when you've got a genuine ruckman as your second up.
Think of all the bonding the rehab group are doing together. There's going to be lots of cohesion with that group.
I mean, as Ben Mackay said, they've got their own WhatsApp group. They are. I said it in the beginning, like that they'll have each other. When Edwards did his, I was like, well, at least they'll. When Brian and Draper, at least they'll have each other. They'll motivate each other. Now, there's going to be no lack of motivation in that rehab group.
No one is leaving the chat either. No one is leaving the chat. That's exactly right.
Yeah, at some point you would hope that someone's leaving the chat and they trickle back in, but not at Essendon. We do the bad spectacular, Lily. Well,
we do. So, what's your prediction?
Oh God. Seeing some stats from the game, and I saw Nick Martin's name, and I think, oh God, we don't have Nick Martin for 12 months. And then I feel depressed, and then I just change the topic in my own brain because that makes me really depressed. But anyway, I'm going to say 81. I'm going to give him some respect, and it's going to be a bit less than last time. 81, because maybe we learned something from last time.
Yeah. You know what?
The Mac Welfie effect. The Mac Welfie effect is going to get us 10 extra points. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I know you don't know a lot about cricket. Do you know what happens when the batsman lifts his bat?
I know nothing about cricket.
Well, there's a point when the batsman lifts his bat to the pavilion, kisses the helmet, lifts both his arms up to the crowd.
What does that mean?
It's when he scores 100.
I don't know what that means. 100 points? What?
100. We're going to lose by 100 is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Bulldogs are going to be raising the bat. It's going to be a century. 107 points.
Oh.
Again, they're flat track bullies. They all start running forward of the ball. They all start getting involved, high-fiving, carrying on.
Handstands.
Again, that's where we need to say you're not special. Yeah. I think it's going to be an absolute massacre.
Yeah. One way or another, it's going to be a massacre. It's just by how much of a massacre.
Yep.
But you think it'll be more than last time? I mean, we're definitely weaker than last time. So logic would suggest that it's going to be a greater loss. but I don't know if my mind can quite, I'm still feeling a little bit flat. So I don't think my mind wants to go there quite yet.
I'll tell you what the strategy's got to be. If I'm Brad Scott, I'm playing the Richmond game again and a couple of times to the players this week, and I'm saying, let's go ugly. Let's reduce them down to our level. Let's make this a woeful game. Men behind the ball, 3-4 loose men in and around the defensive 50. Just make it an ugly game. And I don't care if we ugly the game and ugly our way to a 50-point loss, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Oh, I would consider that a big tick. If we can, how this is where we've got to. How much would we be able to sleep at night? What's the score line? What's the loss number that we'd be able to actually get a good night's sleep? I think a 50-point loss would be a huge win. Huge.
Yep. Anything else on the game before we move to the Cats question?
No, I know you probably have the couch question ready to go, just in true solution style, but no.
Whenever I say this, you know the answer to your question. Do you want to explain to the folks how they can?
No, I'm not going to explain
submit a question.
I'm not going to explain it because
new listeners all the time.
Yes, okay. For new listeners, the solution is never prepared and never on the ball, and doesn't take this very seriously, even though I have explained to him that it is actually quite serious. And he's on the bomb. He's representing Bomber Banter now, and I wear all of the reviews that come from it, but he refuses to listen to me.
They'll come at me.
And is not prepared. So the couch, we come at the end of the show, we do a couch segment where you lie metaphorically on my couch with something that is on your mind, a issue that is keeping you up at night, speaking of that. And then I solve it for you and I tell you what you have to do. Basically, it's a very simple concept. The way you can submit a question is you just pop over to my Twitter or X page, Fiona Rose T, and the link is pinned at the top of the page. Very simple. Just click the link and it's all anonymous. And off you go. Any question, any topic, football or not.
Can I, again, I'm just going to hijack this for a moment. This is a question I thought, so I still don't know the answer after decades of cooking. And I thought no better place to come than to you. How do I really quickly, like they do on TV, just crack the perfect egg? The amount of times I crack it and there's a little bit of shell, or I've broken the yolk. I've tried like chopping off the end with a knife. I've tried like holding it. Like I just still can't do it. Is there a secret?
Is this your couch question?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said I'm hijacking it.
Oh, right. Excuse me. Sorry. Well, there's just a very simple answer for it. Don't get kind of sucked into cracking the two eggs together in order to make the perfect crack. You need to be cracking onto a solid, dense, hard surface. So ideally the bench top. You're just going to have to wear a bit of mess. If you're like me, in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, but then I get a little bit of egg white on the bench and I have to clean it and sanitize it. But you just have to, if you're not type A like me, then don't worry about that. But on the bench is the best place to crack the egg, to get a really clean kind of crack and separation without any shell remnants kind of falling off the shell into the mixture or whatever you're doing. So on a hard bench top, chopping board, not against each other, not with a knife.
Okay, now I've just had my mind exploded. I've always done it on like a cup, or
cup?
The edge of a cup or the edge of a little.
Oh
bowl.
yeah, no, that's
Flat
if you
surface,
do it on the edge.
I've never done it on a flat surface ever.
Oh no. Oh, the edging of a cup, you're disrupting the membrane and the shell, and the shell is going to completely cave in. It's going to
that's
be
what happens. That's it. How'd you know?
a completely unsupported shell, and
Have
you're
you
just
been
going to
looking
have
through my kitchen window?
I mean,
That's
maybe I have.
exactly
I have many skills.
that's exactly what happens. So crack an egg on a flat surface. I can't
On a
believe it.
flat, hard surface. A chopping board is a good wooden chopping board, or just quite simply your bench top. Yeah, that's your best way. And always, just as another tip or trick, I was always taught at pastry school that you never crack an egg right into your mixture. You crack it into a separate bowl, because you can get a blood egg, which is obviously a dead egg that you can't use, and it's toxic. So it's, if you
Oh,
crack
it's
the egg,
toxic. I thought it was just a bit of extra protein.
okay, that is
No?
disgusting. No, it is not. It is actually gonna completely destroy your mixture. And if you've cracked that egg straight onto the eggs and butter and sugar and whatever you have else in the bowl, well, you've got to completely throw out that mixture. So always taught that you crack your eggs in a separate bowl, and then you either whisk them in that separate bowl and put them in your mixture, but never directly on your mixture, because worst case scenario, you're getting rid of maybe one other egg or two other eggs in that bowl, in that other separate bowl, and not an entire mixture that you've got prepared. So that's another little tip in regards to eggs too.
Okay, there you go. It's up to my egg game. I'll come back with feedback on how that goes. I suspect I'm going to try and break it on a board. It's going to go everywhere, all over my.
And well, no, it doesn't need to. No, you don't slap it down and slam it down. It's just a crack. It's just a bit of a tap, and then you kind of take it the rest of the way with the edging of with the tips of your thumbs to break it in half.
You don't know how clumsy I am, but I'll try it. All right, you ready for the real couch question?
I thought that was the couch question.
No, that was my question.
Yeah, I know, but I thought that was going to be the entire. Okay, well, we're doing two today. Actually,
Well,
three.
We got to keep the fans happy. That's very true.
Right, yeah.
All right. So I do not have the answer to this. I can empathise with this question. I can't keep houseplants alive, and it's making me crazy. I can't spend any more money on plants.
Did I write this question?
Why can't I keep them alive? Is this you as well?
This sounds like I wrote that. I have this problem. And would you believe that I literally last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I asked AI, one of my house indoor plants is not dying, but it's not growing. Why? And ChatGPT was completely useless. I mean, it's what I already knew. It didn't give me any concrete answers. But I too have this problem, and mainly because I'm a nurturer by nature, and I just think it needs love and water and food 24/7 all the time. And
you're
I just
smothering it. You're smothering it with your. But you're being too needy with your plants.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I just no, but it's also the Italian in me that I just think it needs food all the time and drinking all the time. I know why.
You must get fat. You eat more.
And I think that's going to make it big and fat and strong. And no, plants are the complete opposite. And the biggest advice I've been given, and I'm going to on give this advice, is for your indoor plants, just get ZZ plants, because their biggest, I guess, toxic trait. You Google it while I don't know the complete name of it. It's a ZZ plant, as in ZZ.
Are they legal plants, or do I need a hydroponic set up in the cupboard?
No, it's a legal plant, but their best toxic trait is that they thrive on neglect. So you basically just leave it.
That's perfect for me.
Yeah, you basically just leave it. And if you think it needs love and attention, it doesn't. It needs, in winter, you can go the whole winter with just watering it once, and that is what it wants. In summer, maybe once every couple of months, and that is how it thrives, and that is what it likes. So if you are very, very bad at keeping indoor plants alive, I would suggest, now Solution's going to give us the exact technical name of it. What is it?
Well, the first thing that came up was the Zanzibar plant.
That's it. Zanzibar. Yeah.
That's not it. That's not it. Because
Yeah.
Zanzibar that's where Freddie Mercury was born. Actually, that's an island off
Well,
Tanzania.
it must have Zanzibar in the name because that
It's
sounds very familiar.
No, I have found it. It's the
Okay.
Zamioculus zamifolia, popular houseplant known for its dark green, glossy leaves and ability to thrive in low light conditions and with infrequent watering.
No, I
Sometimes
think there
referred to as
actually is. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you there, but I think there is a plant, a Zanzibar plant, or
there is.
it must be.
It's called the Zanzibar gem.
Yeah. Yeah. But the technical term, which is what Solution just read out, is also what it's known as, hence why it's
Oh,
colloquially called the ZZ plant. And I now have 3 of them. I have one ivy plant that I'm just looking at, and that's the one, the ivy plant. It won't die, but it will not grow. And it's been like that for 2 years. And I've tried neglecting it. I've tried underwatering it. I've tried overwatering it. Will not grow. Refuses, absolutely refuses to grow, but the leaves are perfect. That's there. But it's just
well,
one vine, a couple
maybe
of vines, and that's it.
maybe it's just a little Snelling plant. It's
I've
meant to be
repotted
shorter
it.
than it's meant to be short.
No, because I've repotted it and I can see the roots. There's a few roots. There's like multiple roots, but it will not. It refuses. And I will not throw it out because it is not dead. I have no
Okay.
answer. So that is my advice to you guys. And the thing is, the ZZ plant, it comes in many forms and in many sizes. So I've got a little baby one, and then I've got a medium one in my bedroom, and then like a large one. And the little baby one is a different type, and it can flower too. It can come up with some white, nice little flowers on there too, occasionally. But neglect, and most indoor places and indoor spots are low light, and it quite likes that. So
Okay.
the ZZ plant is your friend.
And they are good for oxygen too, having plants in the
Purifies
house.
the air. Very
Yes.
good at purifying the air. If you have highly condensation, if you have an area that gets a lot of condensation, that's the best one for it.
Just apart from the shower.
Yeah, the bathroom is another one. Unfortunately, in the bathroom, I have like just a little fake one because no plant survives in there.
Oh, no, you're wrong. Just don't clean your bathroom for long enough. You'll start developing some mold and some fungus. Don't worry.
Little
That'll work.
mushrooms growing out of them. Yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
not the plant I want growing. I have the opposite effect. Too much cleaning, but no. Hope that helped.
Well, there you go. You got 3 couch questions.
We've got to bring
Price
the
of one.
people. We've got to bring the people something in these dark times.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Low
They are dark
dopamine
times,
levels.
but the good thing is we've only got 5 weeks. 5 weeks to go. Jesus.
How's the tank coming? Is the tank? Are you keeping track of the tank? Are we looking at
I think we're
the?
finishing.
Yeah, we're looking at the 4th pick
Yep.
4. Well, before the NGA and the academy pick.
Before the post-finals ladder is determined. No, I think St Kilda will leapfrog us, but we won't. We'll finish just above North Melbourne.
Is there any chance that North Melbourne could leapfrog us?
Oh, possibly, but
or are they
unlikely.
too far behind?
No, it's unlikely. I think. Yeah,
Okay.
they need to win 2 games. I don't think they're winning 2 games, but we'll finish.
I mean, if they had Richmond and West Coast.
I think I thought they had one of those. Oh, you never know. That would be perfect. That would be absolutely perfect. But magnificently as well. I mean, Melbourne lost to Carlton. Carlton. I was on Team Blues, and I think they've got a difficult last few weeks. So I think there's a world where we get the 4th and 5th last picks.
That would be beautiful.
Prior to all the NGAs and other shenanigans. So
that would be a beautiful result. There is not one person who can honestly, if they were honest, absolutely say that they thought Melbourne was going to finish 5th bottom on the ladder. I will give you that a lot of people didn't probably have them in the 8, but there is not one person who thought Melbourne would finish that low. We have got a jackpot with that.
And Rosa was roundly criticised at the time. and
Oh
laughed at
my God.
and ridiculed. And we should be bringing out those receipts actually for the people that said that.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sure there is an Essendon supporter, a bitter Essendon supporter who has kept those receipts. I think it was Mick Ablett who widely criticised us for uh, doing all those deals and matching. Or no, what did we have to do? Because he said that nobody was going to bid on Kako later, and then St Kilda then said that they were going to do it. So he couldn't understand why we moved up or something like that. But
yeah,
he was one I remember.
and he was doing a couple of things there. He was underrating Kako and just
Yes,
and also like ridiculing the decision.
Rosa.
And
Yep, exactly.
and we could do the same again. I'm telling you, this is what I'd like to end with. This time next year, it will be a happier place at Essendon. We will have
We're only
players
going to get younger
back.
next year. You know that, though.
Yeah, but you haven't been through a proper baby bombers
No.
arc. We had it in '92. This is our 1992. 1992, back of the season, we had Hurd, we had Nasidi, we had guys like Simon Madden and Terry Danaher. They played in the reserves premiership from memory, but we had this wonderful crop of baby bombers that were just amazing, and to see them blossom the following year, and then suddenly that group won 2 flags, of course, '93 and 2000, and I think we're on the cusp of a similar thing.
Well, along with that prediction that you should all be noting down and keeping receipts of, you can also keep receipts on what I'm about to say. And that is put to bed in your minds and in your hearts any chance of getting Harley Reid at the end of this year. Harley Reid is not leaving West Coast.
Well, that's
Keep
a big
a
change
receipt on that.
from our chat last week.
Sorry?
Is this based on mail?
No, this is based on him coming out and giving that sledge to Jason Horne-Francis. You know what he said to him?
Yeah, 1 year and you ran home to your mum.
money.
Magnificent sledge.
Magnificent, but there is no way he is more self-aware than that. There is no way he's making that sledge at this point of the season. No way to Jason Horne-Francis if he's leaving himself. No way. He didn't that he planned that sledge. He planned to say that sledge to Jason Horne-Francis. That is not that's not just he's not coming up with that on the spot. That is a planned sledge, and it is telling that it happened then last week.
Yeah, but he could still go because he
Nah.
didn't run home to mum after a year. He's just gone home after.
But he's still going home. You just don't go there. You can lay anything at Jason Horne-Francis's feet. Say, oh, you didn't want an ice bath, too hard for an ice bath, you're a little baby. But you don't say the whole you went home after a year. Like, you don't say that because he's going home after what, 2 years? Well, does that make it any better? Like, essentially in the realm of making that sledge? No, you don't. So I'm happy I've closed the door. That did it for me. I read into, I have a high spiritual intelligence, and that is what that energy gave me strongly. I was like, whew, with that.
Yeah, I think you're right, which is a shame because I'd talked myself around into wanting to do it. But if he stays at West Coast, I respect that. And
so do I. Yeah, so do I. West Coast will give him whatever he wants. I think it was also reported yesterday that his management have finally come to the table to West Coast and laid out a whole document of points of what he wants. West Coast, you won't even look at that. You just say yes without reading it, surely.
Yeah.
Like, next captain, sure, no problem. Vice captain next year, sure, no worries. Like, can go out every Friday night and have one beer, sure, okay, whatever. You just accept anything he wants.
Hanging around with Ben Cousins at the nightclub, yeah, go for it.
Well, the 2025 Ben Cousins, who has quite got himself in order, you'd say okay, but maybe not. But no, unfortunately,
let's hope he can
stay at West Coast. I'm okay with that. If that's the second option, if that's the second best option, other than coming to Essendon, so no probs, Harley. Respect. On that note.
True.
On that note, we better wrap it up. Thank you so much for forecasting the mauling that is coming in 4 days' time, and we're back on prime time. How wonderful for the neutrals.
No problems, but I'm not looking forward to the result, but looking forward to the fan cams afterwards.
Yeah, that will be therapy once again. I should start billing everybody for the fan cam therapy sessions, but you can all just leave a donation. That would make me feel like you're all grateful for the therapy session that I have allowed you all to partake in. So anyway, thank you, Solution.
Cheaper than $200 an hour, your psychologist will charge you.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Solution, again for your time. Much appreciated. I'll see you during the week.
Done, Fiona. Thank you. Go Bombers.
Bye. All right, everybody. Another forecast done. Is this our last Thursday, Friday night game? Surely we have another prime time slot in there just to annoy opposition supporters. It really makes you think, what were the AFL thinking, giving us prime time? There was no way we were going to be good this year. Carlton I can understand, but us, no. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I will see you all Thursday night, team selection show, 7:30. And then, of course, the fan cams Friday night at 10:20 p.m. Hope you're all well, and I'll see you very soon.